Atlanta as a track is extremely challenging but extremely rewarding. It's in my top 5 favorite tracks in this country, largely because it's a natural terrain road course. So for me, that means corners that are built into the topography of the ground. You're going up over hills, you have blind crests, you have descents, you have cambered corners like an oval, you have off-cambered, which is the opposite of an oval, all within one lap. And so from a driver, it really challenges you to be able to have the car underneath you in a way where you can dictate slides and dictate slip angles to maximize what the track has to offer. And it's an extremely fun place to drive, yet it can be very unforgiving at times. So I think that little bit of risk factor plays into the old fighter pilot mentality that some of the drivers have.
You want to fire up, Jeff? Yep.
My history with the GSTL dates back to 2009, 2010. I was racing the 24 Hours of Daytona, and a speed reporter caught wind of me who was also friends with the team, and they needed a driver. And long story short, I ended up working with them, and we were developing the car basically since it was a highly modified street car. And it's come a long way since then. Over the years, we've added a bunch more aero. We've gone through a few different iterations of power plant, a new gearbox, new suspension, just things that as we've made the car faster and faster, we've had to upgrade to companies that can support the speed that we need and the amount of precision that we need. So Friday, first day of competition, we show up and just typically go into our routine of a shakedown just to make sure everything's working right. The car typically sits for a few months at a time before it's run again. So I do an out and in lap, and we had a very small fire. Nothing really big to speak of, just an operational or a prep type thing that we need to look at. And so we cleaned that up and got everything running and did one more session yesterday, and really just to get the car into a place where I like to drive it. With a bunch of new componentry that we had this weekend, we knew we had to do some development and get things to be cohesive as one unit within the car. And so that was really yesterday's goal. Ideally, I would have liked to have been able to put a lap time down yesterday and try again today, because the more chances you get, the better. But you know, we were dealt those cards and we made the best of what we had. Saturday, which is this morning, coming in with a fresh mind and kind of a revitalized spirit as far as what we think the car can do after crunching some numbers last night and making some changes. First session out, the car felt much better than it did yesterday, yet I wasn't quite happy with it. So in the second session, I asked for a couple changes, which we left as the final setup to run the proverbial lap time that we think we could have. As we went through the second session, we started to develop a little bit of a misfire, something that with voltage changes has been adjusting the map, and without a dyno we couldn't really fix. So we were trying to make the best of what we could with what we had. But I can say that where we got the chassis from all of our partners and the components that are there really made it easy to go out and just try and make the motor work with me and last for the one lap we needed it to. And ultimately today in our third session, we were able to break our old record, which we had reset in the second, but we went yet faster and did a 120.79, which was quite a lot faster than our 23.6 we did 4 years ago, which was the long-standing record until today. So we're very pleased to be able to bring the record home with us and bring it to all the partners that we have involved. Super thankful for everybody's support, from Borg Warner with the EFR turbo, from BC Racing with the shocks. Everything's been getting better and better, and Samsonist Gearbox, really appreciate them coming on board with us, because it's been a lot better than what we had, and so we're just constantly refining, and now we're getting to the tip of the pyramid where the adjustments are smaller and smaller, and we're looking for smaller and smaller chunks of time. But I usually don't like to rest until we've wrung the towel out, and I think there's a bit more water in there, if you will.